Dog owners, before you scroll by, if you want to keep your dog safe and you are getting fucking sick of off-lead dogs and members of the OK It's Friendly crew, you need to watch this video. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. So every responsible dog owner will have 100% encountered this problem that we all face. People who let their dog off the lead with no recall, no discipline and no manners because they are friendly. Okay, it's a problem we all face. Every responsible owner will no doubt have encountered it. This is what we need to do when that shit happens. Okay, so being predominantly a Staffie and Bull breed trainer, okay, I have a lot of customers come to me with this exact problem. The difference is we are looking at dogs completely different based on the breed rather than the behaviour. And what I mean by that is if you have a Staffie or Bully that runs over to another dog, they are instantly demonised and ostracised compared to other breeds, where people find it completely acceptable to let their dog run over to our Staffie or Bull breeds because they are friendly, because they're a Cocker Spaniel, because they're a Jack Russell, or whatever the case may be. The manners still apply. It doesn't matter what breed you have. You should absolutely be still being courteous. And here's a few things that I'm going to go over that you can do when this happens. Also, some law and legislation that you need to be aware of. Okay, so first and foremost, Section 3 of the Dangerous Dog Act. You are committing a criminal offence by having your dog irresponsibly off a lead. So if you are watching this and you are that person who does not have their dog on a lead or a long line because they are friendly and you think that's acceptable, you are committing a criminal offence. If that dog causes injury to another dog, that dog must be a working dog, so it can't be another pet. However, if your dog is running over to someone and the person it runs over to at any point feels that they need to apprehend or show defensive behaviour because they're afraid your dog is going to cause injury, you are committing a criminal offence. As you might have noticed, I didn't say bite, I said cause injury. If a person apprehends in the fear that an injury is going to be caused, you are guilty of a criminal offence. And an injury can be anything from a scratch on the hand to jumping up, wanting to show some affection, pushing someone over where it creates a cut or a graze on their leg or their backside. You have just committed a criminal offence. Depending on what job you do, police getting involved can have a massive impact on your career. If you work for emergency services or enhanced DBS check, having a dog dangerously out of control under Section 3, which ends you up in a criminal conviction, can stop you getting that job or can cause problems for a job that you are already in. You need to take that on board. There is a simple tactic to stop this from happening. If you have not taught your dog recall or they have not learned respect and manners to stop them running over to people or dogs, then please purchase a long line. It is a longer line than your normal walking lead. It allows your dog to have freedom, to explore, to have fun, but most importantly, they stay safe. The other person or dogs that they are running over to are staying safe. And thirdly, you do not end up in trouble with the police. Long lines come in a range of sizes, anything from 5 metres up to 30 metres. We sell them, celticbarks.co.uk. They are weatherproof, biothane material. They have a neoprene handle. They have combat clips on them to stop that easily dislodging of those normal clips that you will see. They are fantastic. They are cheap. They are affordable. There is no excuse why a dog should be off a lead, running over unwillingly and uninvited over to other people and dogs. There is no excuse. If you are one of those owners that is subject to these off-lead It's OK It's Friendly crew, I'm going to give you some tactics that we can use to potentially limit or stop that behaviour happening, which is going to massively pay dividends for you guys. So what do we do when an off-lead dog comes running over and we have control of our dog? Okay, yes, it's a hard situation because we don't have any immediate control over the other person's dog, so we just need to do what we can to keep that as calm as possible. The first thing we should be doing is stepping forward. We're not blocking the vision of our dog, we are just stepping towards that dog to create as much space from our dog as possible, and we are going to shout a command at that dog, nice and abrupt to startle that dog. Nearly every dog that you will encounter knows the command sit, so don't be afraid to step forward and tell that dog, sit. That's all you need to do. If it startles them enough, it breaks that response of that excitement and overstimulation where they've channeled towards you or your dog. It can break that fixation, and then they are more likely and more susceptible to listen to a command, albeit they may be a little bit fearful of you, which will also help. I'd like to think at this point that owner is now either recalling them or is quickly coming over to grab control of the dog that they should not have out of control anyway. That is tactic one. However, that doesn't always work, and we will get persistent dogs that will keep on and keep trying to engage with us or our dog, leaving us massive problems. Then we need to escalate our behavior, okay? The next thing you can do is buy pet corrector spray, okay? You can purchase this on Amazon. Sorry if it's a bit backwards. It's called pet corrector. You can find it on Amazon. This does not spray any projectile from this can. So don't think you're going to harm a dog. It is just a can of compressed air, and if I press it, you can hear what that noise represents, okay? 99% of dogs will never have heard that in their lifetime, and if you spray that up into the air towards them, it will do enough to startle them, and they should stop in their tracks and start listening to either you or their owner. The caveat to this is, as you can imagine, we don't want to startle our dogs. This is where we need to do some pre-work with it before we start using it. What I would suggest if you want to use this pet corrector spray is buy yourself a couple of cans. Put one can in your dog walking equipment that is full and untouched. The second one we need to use for our dog. In the house, have a lead and harness on so they can't scarper and run away. And all we're going to do is periodically throughout the day, spray that canister. When they react, we are going to give them a high value reward and make that a positive experience. The more you build on that and the more they respond to the spray of that bottle, the more likely they are to see it as a positive. When the time comes that you may have to use it out on a walk when an off-lead dog comes over, you are then able to spray that. Your dog should be receptive and wait for a treat because you've built up that positivity. We won't have done that with the other dog, so you should get that startle response, or at least delay the brain enough with that overstimulation of the dog running over that they stop, and at least give us enough time to grab their collar or a harness if that's the only thing that we can do. I would never advise putting your hands near a dog that you don't know because of the risk of the bite, but if that's the only option we've got, at least then we can do that, and that should mitigate things as well. But just make sure you do your homework and you use that pet corrector spray to build positivity with your dog first, because you don't want to startle dogs at the time when a dog runs over. Not good. Okay, so what else can we do? So what I would always suggest, and what is part of my dog walking equipment, is a slip lead, okay? I'm not advising that you use it on your dog unless you happen to use it anyway, okay? And that brings me on to lead walking, which is completely different, so we're not going to get into that. So if you don't use a slip lead and you have one spare, or you're willing to purchase one, just buy one, chuck it around your body, under your arm, and carry it with you. If an off-lead dog runs over, you can quickly whip that up, get it around their head. You don't need to worry about what equipment they're wearing. It doesn't matter whether they're in a collar or a harness. You can chuck that over their head, get control of them, and then you can control that dog from running away. That would be one of my top options, so we can gain control. All right, it's not ideal, but it's better than an off-lead dog running around chasing our dog, potentially causing damage to our dog or a fight ensuing. So that's one thing I would suggest doing as part of your dog walking equipment. So, discussing preventative measures, that's what we can do. If worst case scenario happens and an off-lead dog runs over, we can't startle that dog with an abrupt sit. The pet corrector hasn't worked, we haven't managed to grab a collar, and worst case scenario now, the dog has run over to our dog and there has been a confirmed bite. Then we have problems. The worst thing we should be doing when there's a confirmed bite is pulling either dog away. It creates tear injuries. When a dog bites, it punctures and it holds normally. Very rarely will they rag around and try and cause an injury. It is a way of restraining that dog. So they will pin and they will puncture, bite and hold normally. The normal injuries are made worse by owners instinctively pulling those dogs apart, which is one of the worst things you can do. If you want to know how to deal with a dog bite, keep watching. Okay, so there's a couple of things we can do to make sure that we are disengaging that bite as best as possible, okay? The first thing that we're going to go to is every dog that goes out should be wearing a collar. Doesn't matter whether you wear a harness or not, every dog should have a collar on. And there's a reason for that, other than being able to grab them for safety and having identification on it. It will help if a dog is ever bitten, okay? So if this is around your dog's neck and they are the ones that have bitten, we will pull up on this, take away all the slack, and then we will twist. The only way you will get an engaged bite off is through suffocation. They will make the choice whether they want to carry on doing that bite or whether they're willing to be suffocated. Okay, if you have to do it on your dog, it's not nice, but it stops that limit of injury. If the offending dog is the one that's bitten, go for their collar, do exactly the same thing. Before you say it, what if this other dog is not wearing a collar? Okay, so offending dog has run over, no collar on, no lead, brilliant, couldn't get any worse. We are carrying a slip lead, what are we going to do? So we are going to throw the loop of this slip lead round underneath the dog's neck, providing there is a latched bite. That will give us a caught lead here. We're going to hold it here. So we're going to throw it underneath the dog and we're going to put it here. Okay. What we're going to do then is we are going to loop our slip lead through our handle. The dog's head is inside like so, and then we are going to pull and we are going to make it nice and tight. And again, the same suffocation until that dog disengages. As soon as that dog does, we use the slip lead to remove that dog from the situation so they can't release and then engage in another bite. Okay, if you do not have a slip lead and they have not got a collar on, what else can we do? So you can use your traditional walking lead. It is a normal walking lead like so. All that is on is one end is a normal clip. The other is just a conventional handle. This is your stereotypical lead. You can do the same thing. Chuck it underneath the offending dog's head, bring it up, put the clip through the handle and pull. Simple as that. Pull tight. And then that is going to suffocate the dog or strangle them long enough for them to get off, okay? That is just a couple of tactics that you can use should the worst case happen and there is a bite, okay? Keep watching. I'm going to show you videos of me doing this on my beautiful Staffie Helga, just to show you the method of how we can deal with it. Okay, guys, so like I said, so you imagine now that Helga is the offending dog. She's got her collar on and she has latched onto another dog, okay? All we're going to do is pull up, take away all the slack, and then all we're going to do is twist and cut off air circulation. Okay, I'm obviously not going to do it more because I don't want to hurt Helga, but make sure all the slack is taken up so there's no slack underneath, and we're just going to hold the head and turn, okay? Like I said, it's not very nice, but it's better than having a horrific injury caused to your dog or another dog. Good girl, thank you. Okay, so the next step is obviously the slip lead side of things. So as you've got to imagine that the dogs have latched onto each other now, so we're going to use the slip lead. Okay, so you imagine Helga is latched on. We can't get into here. You don't want to be putting your hands around here. So what we're going to do is sling that underneath, bring it up, and we're going to whack it through the handle like so, and then we're going to pull down. And then it's going to go over and we're going to pull nice and tight. Okay, so last but not least is obviously your conventional walking lead. Similar sort of thing. Obviously you're going to more likely to have this on you than the slip lead if you don't carry one with you. So like I've said, same process. You've got the handle in the clip, you're going to throw it underneath, bring it up around, and then we're just going to pop it through the handle like this, and it's going to come down and do the same thing again. Deal with it, okay? Okay guys, and that is it. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope you find benefit from it. Just remember what I've said. Try and startle the dog with a sit. Use pet corrector spray if you want to. It does not harm the dog. It is just a loud noise. Make sure you have trained your dog effectively with that first so they are comfortable. Also, all the different techniques with slip leads, normal walking leads and collars in relation to suffocation. Please do not pull your dogs apart if there is a confirmed bite, but most importantly as well, keep yourself safe, keep your dog safe. Section 3 of the Dangerous Dogs Act. It is a criminal offence to have your dog off a lead that causes fear of injury to another person. Massively important. There has to be no injury caused. You just have to cause fear. As we know, and as much as I hate saying it, Staffie breeds, bull breeds, whichever way you want to word it, they are always stigmatized as the worst type of breed, aggressive. Please don't fall foul and let that stigma continue from poor obedience. If your dog is the type of dog that is running over to people, even if it's to say hello and they are friendly, that still does not allow them or give them that pass to do it. Please put a long line on. You can get a 30-meter long line, celticbarks.co.uk. That is about 96 feet. Your dog can have lots of freedom, lots of fun. If you ever need to, you can put your foot on that long line, bring the dog back. There is no risk of them running up to someone, you ending up in trouble, your dog ending up injured, or being seized because someone has maliciously reported it, whatever the case may be. Please guys, keep your dog safe. This is so important. I hope you've all enjoyed. For anyone who's watching this, if you're on TikTok, please come over to our profile, give us a follow. You'll see more videos like this. Please feel free to inbox us. And if you haven't already, get over to Staffie Training Help. It's a free group on Facebook, lots of free training advice, fantastic community with over 12,000 people. We give training advice. We've also got paid services. If you've got a Staffie or a bully, we need to be sticking together and fight that negative stigma. And there's 12,000 plus people who are in Staffie Training Help with the same mentality as you guys who own Staffies and bullies. Please, please, please come over there and just keep the promotion of this breed going. Don't let them be seen in the bad light. We know it's not true as owners. They get a couple of bad snaps in the media and it's all prejudice towards that. But we are not helping by letting dogs like this off a lead, no matter how friendly, okay? You won't find a bigger advocate for Staffies and bullies than me, but please don't let them, their friendliness, be their detriment. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you in Staffie Training Help if you're coming over.